Line is my language. Lines don't simply describe the edges of volumes. Lines can be layered to show textures and shades, model objects, and express. My work is developed around the importance of line, the graphic, organic, expressive energy of lines. As for themes, the common thread is that I express my life through my work. A theme that often surfaces is I am a character in a novel, as if my life events amounted to a board game. This is a large triptych I painted in 2022 in the time of the COVID pandemic. My drawing, The God of War, relates to this work. It shows a Canadian landscape, the Rockies down below, an erupting volcano, a missile with a warhead flying through the air, and a surrealist eagle, the God of War, attacking my country. The drawing is made in mixed media, paint, inks, pencil, crayon, charcoal, and so on. I wanted to express the chaotic time we are living in. That's me as the main figure. As in the COVID painting, I am wearing a spiraled shell helmet, which represents my gradual intellectual growth as an artist. My drawing life is a life of tightly knitted, woven lines. In my studio, I first work flat, plotting out and filling in the drawing. It's truly a self-portrait because I often use myself as a model. I try to add armor in the God of War without actually drawing armor. So I think my main figure may be an ancient soldier. When I photographed the Rockies from above on a flight to British Columbia, the high altitude reminded me of my exhibition, The New Reality, where I showed a series of works titled The Game of Drones. I decided to show the mountains from above, which gives the first panel in the triptych an aerial view. In the first panel we look down, in the second panel we are on an earthly level, and in the third panel there is an attack from the sky, so we look up. My series on bridges found its way into the God of War. I liked the idea of a wall or a bridge as a symbolic connection of ideas. One day I found a crushed fly in my sketchbook. Under the microscope, the insect looked quite alien, and I decided to create a series of threatening images called The Silent Fear, where the insect attacks an immigrant family on a stage. Sometimes the insect images turned into machine images. Eventually the work tells a somewhat post-apocalyptic tale in which insects have changed and adapted. I think in my sketchbook, on this trip to Salt Spring Island, I made notes for my next exhibition. But my ideas often change when a new reality presents itself. Because you see, immersed in this organic world, I need to document the landscape. There's so much. Not the textures, high boulders and dense forests dictate their own rules. My daughter Julie and her husband Colin are in the habit of documenting their landscape too. On a visit to Spain, I was struck by the silent voices of these ancient ruins. The stones spoke to me, and I could feel the presence of the spirits who inhabited these buildings. Here I am making line drawings three-dimensional, either flat or in 3D volume. Now this is one of my favorite pieces. It was one in a series titled F Triangle. It was more or less a relational topic, I would argue, but here you can see again the idea of an object floating above the horizon line. I enjoyed teaching life drawing. I help students and artists in the art of analysis, interpretation, and the structure of drawings. Drawing teaches us to observe and think. And that's it. That's why I love line.